You know, it has been a hot minute since I've done any videos on camera gear, which I think is horrible. I love camera gear, it's one of my favorite things, and it's something I use almost every day. Not really for sure why it's been so long since I've done a video. It wasn't an intentional thing, I'm not really sure what happened there, but in any event, today it is time to remedy this horrendous oversight. Lighting. Arguably one of the most important components in your camera gear arsenal. You can have a $5,000 camera with a $2,000 L lens, and if it's lit badly, it's still gonna look like dog crap. Unfortunately, lighting can also get really pricey really quickly. But let's be honest, the whole camera gear world, you can go down that rabbit hole very deep and come out the other side broke as a joke. Which is why I am a big fan of companies that offer a lot of versatility and bang for your buck. Enter into the world of Aputure, my favorite lighting company by far. And this is not a sponsored video, and I'm not getting paid for this. I do receive some of these products for free for review, but they're not paying me. I just love Aputure. If you've watched any of my videos for any length of time, you'll know I've been a fan of their products for quite a while. And that's because they offer such really high quality, professional grade lights at a price that makes it affordable for normal folks like us, people that are indie filmmakers or YouTubers or, you know, just hobbyists, etc. So today we're talking about two of their lights. They're smaller, kind of on-camera style lights, super portable, really affordable, extremely versatile little lights I think everybody should have in their camera bag. The Amarand series F7 and MX. Alright, so to start things off, I'm going to hit the details on the little dude, the Amarand AL-MX. And don't let the size fool you. This thing is built like a tank. It is only about the size of a credit card or maybe a deck of cards, but has solid aluminum construction which makes this little guy feel super well made and durable. It's got this solid aircraft aluminum heatsink thing on the back. Just by feeling it's just super well made. If you got yourself into a bad situation, you could use this as an impact device and a self-defense role. But don't get me wrong, when I'm saying all that, it's not, I mean, it's tiny, so it's not super heavy. It just has enough weight to it where it feels super well made and durable, but still nice and small and portable. This little guy you could tuck away very easily in your bag, so you always have a light in a pinch, while taking up very little of that valuable real estate in your camera bag. Slide it into a side pocket, and you could probably keep a couple of these in your bag, and you wouldn't even realize that they were there. But in a pinch, if you really needed a light, you're gonna be super glad you have one of these in there. Also, because of the tiny size of this thing, you can get super creative. This light can literally go anywhere. This light can get in a lot of places that there is no way you're fitting in a bigger light. We'll go into that more later when we go over some kind of use cases and whatnot for this. It has 128 LEDs, a CRI and TLCI of over 95. That's another one of the things I really love about Aputure is just really great color accuracy on their lights. It has a beam angle of 120 degrees, pumps out a very respectable 200 lux at 1 meter. I mean, for the size of this little guy, it puts out some really, see what I'm saying? It puts out some really impressive light. I'm gonna say that you could probably get away with using this as a key light in a pinch. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is gonna be the optimal thing to use for a key light. Probably not. I mean, look at that, blinding. I mean, good Lord, can't see anything. I see blue dots. But I do think this thing's probably bright enough that in a pinch, you could get away with it. It also has a little boost button, which allows you to temporarily blind someone. I'm just kidding. It's not really for that. What it is it's just a little boost button that when you hit it for 60 seconds, it goes 30% brighter. So see, that's super bright, right? Yeah. That's obnoxious, I know. So if the already crazy brightness of this thing isn't bright enough, 60-second intervals, you can bump it up a notch. It also has 5-step color adjustment ranging from 28K to 6500K. Another feature that adds a lot of flexibility and ways to be creative with this light. It has a built-in lithium-ion battery that you'll get about 1 hour out of on full power and around 4 hours on minimum, which is great for what we were talking about earlier when you're going for that super high-speed, low-drag loadout and you don't want a lot of stuff. No worry about packing extra batteries that take up a lot of extra room. Pop this little dude in there and you got 1 to 4 hours of lighting on hand at all times. And I know what some of you are saying, yeah, but with internal batteries, once they go dead, you're dead in the water and then you have to wait and recharge them. While it is technically true, if you really needed more than that hour to 4 hours of lighting, it does have a built-in USB-C on the side for charging, so you could maybe like run it off of a power bank, or hell, even with the right adapter, run it off wall power if you really had to. The interface on this thing is also super easy. All the buttons are located right here on top. You have an on-off switch, some LEDs along here at the top that are battery indicators. You have a CCT to DIM slider, which moves you from being able to use these buttons to change the warmness and coolness of the light. If you slide it over to dim, then it operates the brightness of the light. And then of course you have the blind you boost button. Super easy to use controls all right on top here. Really nice interface. They also put a nice 1/4-20 mount right on the bottom to help you if you want to mount this dude up on a light stand. And in true Aputure style, something else I really love about Aputure, they include a super nice little carry bag with all the accessories you might need. You've got a ball head mount, charging cables. You've got 2 different diffusing plates. These new diffusing plates I really like. They're just magnetic. Something really satisfying about that. For some reason, that's a satisfying sound to me. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. So I really like this method a lot better than most of the other ones. A lot of them have the little tabs that click that can break over time. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. This is just nice little magnetic, super easy on and off, holds it on securely. Really like that. They also include some 3M sticky mounts and some rubber bands to just further, I guess, aid in mounting this thing anywhere. Which leads me to my next point before we move on to the next light. Different uses for this light. It does come with that ball head cold shoe mount, so you can definitely mount this right on top of your camera and use it as an on-camera light if you need to. As I mentioned, this could probably even pull off a key light in a pinch. Here's an example, and again, this is not optimal, but just to show the brightness and versatility. Here's the light on. Here's the light off, and here's the light back on again, just so you can kind of see what this light's capable of. Definitely not the best key light, but in a pinch, I think that's pretty nice. You could use it as a telling haunted stories light. No, just kidding. You could definitely, you see, if you can see, I got some shadows. You could definitely have that off frame as a fill light if you needed to fill in some shadows that you didn't like. Use this overhead as a hair light. I'm sure you can see the difference there. If you boomed this over top, you could definitely use this. See, if I didn't like all the shadows that my hat was leaving, I could put this off frame and just uplight a little bit to even out the lighting on my face there. You can use it as an accent light. Right now, I've got one over there on my shelf. I don't have a plug or anything that's easy to access over there, so when I do videos, I stick one behind the light over there just to add a little interest to the background. You could have this off to the side, illuminating your beer shot if you were doing some product shots for a beer company, just doing a B-roll sequence for a video you're doing. Point is, light this small and bright, and with the color adjustments, really great functional light. Tons of purposes. Only your imagination is going to limit you to what you can do with this guy. All right, so enough of me gushing on about this little guy for now. Let's move on to the bigger brother, the AL-F7. This light is quite a bit larger than the MX. I would say a more traditional size for a compact on-camera LED panel. But it is still extremely portable and compact. Due to the fact this one has a plastic body instead of an aluminum one, it actually weighs a tad less than the smaller MX light. This is a full plastic body, not aluminum like that one. There's some pros and cons to that. It is lighter, so even though it's a bigger panel, it doesn't have any weight, super light and portable. Because it's plastic, it is going to be not quite as durable as that light. That being said, I don't see there being any major issues with this. The plastic seems like good quality plastic. I mean, I wouldn't go slamming it on concrete or anything, but under normal use, this thing's going to hold up just fine. And where this guy is a little larger and not quite as portable as the smaller one, you're not going to be able to just stick this guy in your pocket and not even realize it's there, but it more than makes up for it in brightness and functionality. As with the first light, you're going to have a really nice color accuracy of 95 plus CRI and TLCI. This one has 256 LEDs with a 45-degree beam angle, and it dials in at an impressive 1500 lux at 1 meter. I mean, this dude is bright. This one is certainly bright enough to pull off as a key light. Again, it's not optimal. I'm not saying I would pull up to a paid gig, is this my only light as my key light or anything like that. But for people that are starting off doing YouTube videos and they're currently using just the lights inside their house and they're trying to step up their production value a little bit, this thing can certainly, if diffused properly, create a really nice key light source. I mean, dude, this thing is, I mean, look, that's all the way up. There we go. I mean, look. I mean, I've got a key light on and look at the, it's bright. Brightness is no issue with this light, I promise. It has a brightness adjustment from 1 to 100 in single increments and a color range from 3200 to 9500K, which is a great feature because it really lets you dial in the color and the brightness to exactly what you need. A lot of lights only go down to like 5 or 10%, which doesn't allow you sometimes to get as dim as you need it to be. You just turn this little dial on the side and it ramps right through the brightness all the way down to 1%. Then you just push the knob in, it clicks, and it changes that knob over from adjusting the brightness to adjusting the color temperature. Both easily viewed along with your battery life on the nice LED display on the back. Just a really simple, easy to use interface. When you're all the way at 36, if you can tell, just half the lights are working. And if I go all the way up to 95, again, half the lights are working. So on either end of the spectrum, you're not going to get as bright a light. Now the good thing is, because this one goes from 32 to 95, that puts daylight at about 55 or 56, dead smack in the middle. So if you're using daylight, all of your LEDs are going to be on, which is really nice because that's going to give you maximum brightness at that nice daylight temperature. A lot of lights don't do that, and that was really smart of Aputure to do it that way. So not only does it give you some really nice blue light and orange light for being creative, but also allows for normal kind of 5600 daylight kind of shooting light, maximum brightness. This dude also has power option for days. On the back, you have your typical battery slot that takes Sony NP-F style batteries, which thank God this one is easy. It just, feel that, just clips in and then push a little button, pops right out. I know that seems like a simple thing, but you'd be surprised how many lights jam, they're hard to get in and out. It's really nice when you find a light that has a nice little button and the batteries pop in and out easily. Thank you, Aputure. You also have a USB port on the side, so you can power this with a power bank or on wall power. You also have a D-tap input for you guys that are running that on your cameras or other gear, so you can power everything off the same battery. This guy really does have just about any way you can possibly hope to power a light, which again adds to the flexibility of this light. It also has 1/4-20 inserts on 3 sides for your mounting pleasure. Okay, mounting pleasure, maybe that was bad word choice. Don't make it weird. And just as with the other, it comes with a nice carrying case loaded up with all the goodies you need. Chargers, cables, diffusers, and a super nice ball head mount. I mean, this thing is way nicer than most ball head mounts. Like, even nicer than, and I know they probably didn't include as diesel a one with this because it's a much smaller light, but I mean, this is like kind of a more average ball head mount you're gonna see with a lot of stuff. I mean, can you tell the difference between, I mean, this thing is way more diesel. But like I said before, that's kind of Aputure's thing. That's one of the things I really just love about this company. Super nice ball head mount. I mean, really, this is like a high quality, nice thick canvas, soft inside so your gear doesn't get scratched up. They just include nice stuff. It's one of my things I really like about Aputure. And as for ways to use this guy, maybe it's not quite as small as the MX, so you're not gonna be able to squeeze it in quite as small spaces. Because of the brightness, you're probably gonna be able to use this in some scenarios that light's just not gonna have the horsepower to pull off. Here's an example of this as a key light being diffused with a 3-way deflector. So here's with the light off, here it is with the light on. I think this looks pretty legit. Like I said before, if you're just starting a YouTube channel or you don't have a big budget for this kind of stuff, I think something like this is inexpensive and it can really help you step your game up and set you apart from all the other people that aren't taking the time or effort to make their videos look good. Because of the big range of color in this thing from 3500 to 9500, you could definitely use this thing as a background light to put some cool blues in the background if you've got more warm colors in the foreground, or if you're a little cooler in the foreground, maybe put it on an orange light to kind of add some contrast in the background. You could boom this thing overhead at night if you're trying to shoot an outside scene to simulate some moonlight if you cranked it up to the 9500K. And as we mentioned before, with the cold shoe, and it's definitely small enough and light enough, you could for sure mount this thing on top of a camera and use it in its more traditional role of an on-camera light. Both of these lights are really affordable. As of the time I'm filming this video, you can pick up the MX for around $150 and the F7 for just under $100. And for the build quality of these lights and all the different functions you can use these in, the flexibility and versatility of these lights, I think you're getting a hell of a lot of bang for your buck with these guys. Anyway, that about wraps this one up, ladies and gents. As always, I will put links for all this stuff down below, so if you're interested in any of the stuff we talked about in this video, you can find it. I hope all of you found something in this video useful and you enjoyed hanging out for a little while today. If you did, feel free to light that like button up. See what I did there? Pun game is back. I've been off for a couple weeks. The last couple weeks has been hard. I didn't have a good pun for the ending, but back today, baby. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next video.